So hi everybody, my name is Craig Wilson and thanks a lot for joining us today to look at this workflow for Story-Centric and Avid MediaCentral Collaborate. Let's take a quick look at the agenda for today's session, and again, thanks a lot for joining us. So to start with, we'll do some introductions of the other presenters who are going to be joining me today. Then we'll take an overview of MediaCentral Collaborate for News. The key point of today really is to show you what MediaCentral Collaborate can do. And so to do that, we're going to have a live demonstration. And then after that, we'll have a discussion and of course, a question and answer session as well. So my name is Craig Wilson. I'm the product evangelist for Media and Cloud here at Avid. And joining me today to do the demo is Tony Dragon and Kent Peterson, who are my colleagues and great solutions specialists with us here. We are very keen to hear from you, so please feel free to submit your questions in the course of the presentation. We'll be monitoring the Q&A area, so we can answer your questions either in the Q&A or we can answer them live. I'm sure we've all been on lots of Zoom sessions over the course of the last 18 months or so, so you should see at the bottom of your screen the Q&A button, so please feel free to use that to ask any questions, and we'll do our best to get back and to answer you. Also, when we're doing the Q&A later on, we are also going to provide a short survey. We're very keen to hear what you thought of the session and how we can tailor these sessions for things that we want to do in the future. But please feel free to submit your questions as we go. So what are we going to be looking at today? So really what we're going to be talking about is what's called MediaCentral Collaborate. So this is a planning and collaboration tool that really helps teams work better together. It delivers what we call story-centric workflows for news production, where the story is very much at the heart of everything that we do. So rather than thinking of the story as, a single element that's part of a running order, we actually think of the story as a piece of media or some content that we want to take and then distribute that out to potentially broadcast, of course, but also maybe to social media, to online as well. And this really is what MediaCentral Collaborate is about. And another key aspect of it is it's also mobile. So what you're going to see in the course of the demonstration today is how MediaCentral Collaborate can work both in terms of on web, in Media Composer, and also on mobile as well. But we'll also talk a little bit about how MediaCentral Collaborate can also be used for other types of workflows, not just necessarily news. So what are some of the capabilities which it has? So MediaCentral Collaborate allows you to add and manage users and resources. You have this concept of what are called topics, assignments, and tasks. So for example, I'm working on the planning desk. I want to set up a job that I want someone to do. I want to task, someone in the building to do that, maybe a camera operator, an editor, a graphics operator, a journalist, for example. And then I also want to be able to track the status of that job as they're going through and as they're working on it. And to enable me to do that, we have the planner view, and the planner view allows me to then get an overview of everything that's going on in the course of the day. And we'll look in particular at this planner view and how we can assign tasks in a little while. So MediaCentral Collaborate is available in what's called MediaCentral CloudUX, and we'll demonstrate this to you in a little while. It's also available inside of Media Composer, and it's available inside of Adobe Premiere Pro as well. And it really enables that team collaboration really regardless of where anybody is, because it's something you can do inside of the building. It's also something that you can do outside of the building. And of course, a key element of that is the fact that we also have the MediaCentral Collaborate mobile app. So this enables you to do things like get notifications, for example, when you're assigned a new task. You can then see the task and you can then apply the status to that task, so you can update the progress of a task or in progress, or whether it's submitted for approval. And it really enables you to access any of these assets or information, really no matter where you are. Now, one other thing to mention once we've seen the demo is we're also going to give you an update on some of the new features in MediaCentral Collaborate that have just been launched in the course of the last couple of days to really extend out that collaboration beyond even the newsroom and the edit suite as well. But that's enough for me for the moment. The key thing really want to do today is to show you the capabilities of what we can do in MediaCentral Collaborate. And so for that, I'm going to hand over to Tony and Kent, who are going to take you through everything else. So Tony, it's across to you.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Craig. And I'm just going to share my screen. And what we are looking at today is my demo system here. I am currently focused on a Google Chrome browser and have the address for my MediaCentral CloudUX plugged in the URL bar here. And I'm logged in and I am browsing the website. Interestingly enough, I am in a fully remote capacity. So is Kent today. We are about 1,000 miles away from this equipment, but that is okay. We can remote in with our browsers and our remote software applications and simply do the tasks that we need to do. So again, I'm going to start here in the browser. I'll give you just a really quick 2-minute overview on MediaCentral CloudUX, but let me go ahead and go full screen with it by hitting F11 on the keyboard. So we have a lot of real estate to work with here. So what we're looking at right now, again, is MediaCentral CloudUX. And we've got a list of databases going off here on the left-hand side. So that's this one up here at the top I am currently focused on right here. You can see the little breadcrumb trail leading me to a folder full of videos that I can currently come in, double click on and have it stream to me here in my home office 1,000 miles away and see the results. Okay. And I can do that with any one of these databases right here. So that's me browsing a production database. I can also click on a news database. So if I need to write a story at the same time, I simply choose the database, click an app here across the top. These apps allow me to perform functions within that database. And this one right here is a rundown app. So if I click on that, you can see I can work with an active news rundown. I am currently focused on one of the packages or stories inside of a rundown. And I can come in here and keep typing like that. So I can edit script. I can also add production cues like that. And by clicking back over on one of these other apps, I'll go back to the Browse app. I can view and manipulate video along with my story creation. So that's just a real quick overview of MediaCentral CloudUX, again, giving me full production control inside of this browser right here, which is fantastic. But right now, we are going to focus on this third app over from the right called Collaborate. I'll just roll my mouse over there so you can see the tab pop up that says Collaborate. This button right here launches a Collaborate app. And I am just going to expand or collapse my media browser right now so we can get a full view of MediaCentral Collaborate. And when you first click on this app, this is the view you're presented with. So what we have going on here on the left-hand side are all my topics, right? And these topics can contain assignments within them. So this next window over here is just a list of all the assignments that are in the system, whether they are in these topics or not. Okay, so topics over here, you can have it, I just put a couple examples in here. I have an example of a 5 p.m. topic. Oops, sorry about that. Let me just back it out here, right here. So this is, say, a topic that is related to a 5 p.m. newscast that we run every day. And I want to put all the stories that need produced inside of this topic like that. I can also go for like longer term topics. That's why I threw in this, 2022 election topic. Okay, so that one's going to span across multiple months, across multiple shows, but I still want to organize with different kind of assignments. Hey, who's covering the Democratic convention? Who's covering the Republicans? Primary race, stuff like that. Or you can do, break it up into breaking now. We had a building collapse downtown. Oh my gosh, let me create a topic here because we're going to do live spots. We're going to do social media. We're going to do multiple news spots. So let me create a topic like that and start putting assignments inside of that topic like that. Today, we're going to work on a documentary series here that could or could not wind up in a rundown or show, but I want to organize by a documentary series right here. And so you'll notice that when I click on these things, the tab or the space over on the right-hand side will shift to show me just the contents of that topic, right? So if I click on high rise, okay, there it is. Here again, election, and you can see that I've got topics selected up there like that. If I want to clear that out and just see everything, click that out, no topics selected. So it's going to show me all the assignments in the system. Now, real quick over here, you can probably figure out what this high profile, low profile are. And there's also another one in there called breaking news. So if you want to organize by priority, by all means, you can. So there's all the low priority shots. There's all the high profile ones. You can also organize by color code. So these color codes, which we'll get into in a minute, mean different things in the system. I've been looking at this for a while, so I can tell that the white is, new ideas. Blue, I believe, is in progress. This purple one here is for review. This one got rejected, and a couple of them are complete down here in the bottom. I can tell that by the color code. So you'll notice that these are color coded here, and also in the wheel over here, you can see that this one has 10 stories. A good bunch of them are, in progress. A couple of them are completed. I can see that at a top level view from within the Collaborate app. So I can then, maybe isolate, say, a 5 p.m. rundown and maybe start tracking some of these people down. Hey, why are your stories not finished? Stuff like that. I can also do things. Let me just clear that out again. If I'm looking for, say, just the stories that are related to me, I'm going to click this little button up here that says only my stuff. And what that will do is show me everything that has my initials in it. You can see here, as far as the team, this is everything that has been assigned to me within the system. It's coming from multiple different topics and multiple different assignments. But at a really quick level here, I can go in, see what exactly I need to be working on, and I can even sort further by going into, status. I can change display options and stuff like that. And, I can do searching saying, hey, just show me the new stuff, things like that in the system. But I can get to the tasks that I've been assigned to very quickly. But we're just going to turn that off right now. And what we're going to do is we're going to step in here into this documentary series, and we are going to create a new assignment. So I'm going to click the button in the upper right-hand side here and just choose assignment once I'm in that topic. Okay. And this one will be park reopen. Okay. And we are going to give it a due date of tomorrow. This is going to go into the 5 o'clock rundown. So we'll give it a time. And this is where I can start populating information here. You can see that we are going to put it in the documentary series. I'm going to call out a team on this because I want my best men on the job. And you can see I've got a list here of people. If it's in a long list, you can triage this list down. We'll choose Kent here. And we'll choose Craig here as well to be part of this team, like that. And you can see that their icons will pop up inside of the assignment like that. You can also add resources, but we're not going to add it to this level right now. But resources are cameras, tripods, news trucks, whatever kind of resource you need to track with this system. I'll show you a little bit of an example of that once we get into topics, or tasks, I should say. We can also add some external context if we had it, or tagging. We can start typing in keywords here and keep adding to the system. These keywords allow me to easily search and sort through these assignments. Again, tags come in handy when you're doing like election 2020 or, hey, current sports season and stuff like that, along with different metadata down here in the departments, stuff like that. Let's just go ahead and put day news on there as far as sources, or for departments and sources. We really don't care about this. Is going to be self-generated. Click save. And I'm going to hit a refresh button. And you'll notice that up there in the upper right-hand corner, I did get a warning from within the system that I've got new assignments tasked. Okay. And then also, Kent should have gotten the same warning because he's a part of that team right there. And you can see Kent say hi. So you're focused on your video. Now you got to turn your microphone off. There it is.
I have it on my phone.
So you can see Kent's got the mobile app up, and he just got a new warning that he just had an assignment. Okay. And you'll notice over here, I've got a couple assignments that are already done. We just did this park reopen, which turned white on us, which stands for new. Okay, so within this assignment, first thing I might want to do is come in here and assign some tasks. First task would be shoot video like this. And I'm going to do it a new assignment right here. Again, we're due tomorrow at 1700 hours. And this time I am just going to assign Kent to this. Okay, so there's Kent. Assign him that. I'm going to assign him some resources too. So he has got to go shoot the video. So I'm going to give him the Sony camera #2. And I'm going to let him take the news Vespa, go drive down to the park and get the footage and get it done like that. Okay, I'm going to leave the status as new in here. And we will see once that's done right here, Kent can go off and shoot his video. So right now he should have gotten the message on his iPhone or his mobile device. And if he's down there already, I'm assuming he's going to change that from a new status to an in progress if he's ready. Like that. So you can see here that Kent went out and he changed the status of the assignment to in progress. And what I wanted him to do was change the task to in progress. So I'm just going to change that back on him like that. So we can see that, hey, Kent is in progress shooting the video. And I clicked refresh on here and you can see that Kent went out and shot these lovely pictures and uploaded them into the system. He also assigned or attached these video clips to the assignment of Park Reopen. He just threw them in this bin. So now he has access to them and I have access to them inside of this assignment. So another assignment could be, I'm going to do another one for Kent. So Kent is in charge of the social messaging. I actually want this out today. So I'm going to choose today's date by, like 8 o'clock, something like that, because, I want to tease the next day. I'm just going to assign this to Kent here like this. And he doesn't need any resources like that at the same time. So there we go. There's a task to shoot the video, a task to create social messaging. And then we're going to give Tony some tasks here. Tony to create a 5-minute package for this site right here, like this. Again, due tomorrow, 5 o'clock. So we'll give him like that. Team on here will just be me. No resources needed, like that. So you can see we've got a couple new ones on here. I'm just going to add one more, and I'm going to call this 5 p.m. rundown, something like that. So I do need to create a spot for the 5 p.m. rundown for today. And it's going to be due like there. Again, assign Tony the resource like that. So you can see now that for this park reopening, we've got 3 different tasks or 4 different tasks that need to be completed here. So you'll see that the stuff that I've been assigned to up here, it throws it up saying I have a new task assignment to me. I can then open up the Collaborate app, take a look at it. I'm going to go ahead and hit refresh over here. So you'll see Kent creating some social messaging here. He is done with the video. So I'm just going to change that from an in progress to complete like that. Or Kent could have done it himself, but I will do it for him. And he's moved on to the social messaging. Now, one of the things that Kent was doing in the background was he actually created a new note inside of this bucket. So if you right click inside of this bucket, you can see you can create a note, and he has already done that. One of the neat features of this new Collaborate is the ability to come in here and share the editing process. So I double clicked on the note. So you can see Kent is over here typing away, working on his messaging, working on his tweets and stuff like that. I can actually step in here and add comments to his note taking. Like that. So as I'm typing away, Kent's like, okay, no, I don't want you to do that. So he basically set it to privacy mode. Right now, we've got it labeled Ninja mode right there. So if Kent doesn't want me in there typing, adding information, he just turned on the private mode or the Ninja mode like that. Okay, but that's okay. Once he's done, let's see if he's turned it off yet. He can turn it off yet and then continue with what he's doing like that. So you can choose to share these notes or not share these notes. Choice is yours. But you can create these notes so you can have copy and different stories and stuff like that in with these assignments, so you can actually collaborate and reuse these ideas. So one of the things I might be able to do is let's switch back over to the newsroom that I'm working on. And you can see I'm already working on my spot over here like this. So I'm working on the package inside of iNews right there. I'm typing away. But what I want to do is I'm just going to quickly drag and drop this over here. And I'm going to split my screen so you can kind of see it 50-50. But there is Kent loading the video, working on his social media messaging. And here is Tony working on an actual 5 p.m. rundown spot. But I'm going to share it by simply dragging it from the rundown into our little bucket. Now Kent has access to my package right here. And I also have access to it inside of the Collaborate app. So if we come over here and just focus on Collaborate again, and we'll go into the documentary, here's that park reopening. There is that iNews story along with videos and stuff like that, that you can double click on, open it up and continue working like that. And Kent, was that you down there? It says keep working. Just say yes.
Yes.
So there you go, like that. So at the same time, what's going to happen is we're over here on the documentary and park reopening. So there's the 5 p.m. rundown. I can come over here and change my status to in progress. I still got a few more things to do. And now I can work on my 5-minute piece. So I'm going to change this to in progress right here. And I'm going to cheat a little bit. So Kent has done all this wonderful work with shooting this video and finding it and stuff like that. I am just going to simply double click on here. Media player swings out from the right-hand side and I have access to it. Okay. If he's already gathered all the video and I see some markers in here with all the good shots and everything, I'm going to click this button in the upper right-hand side and bring a timeline up from the bottom. And I'm just going to drag and drop a clip down there. And it's going to ask me where in the system do you want to store it? So I'm just going to call this one Tony Reopen Webinar like that. So I'm going to give this timeline down here a name in the system like that. And I'm going to go ahead and utilize, I'm going to collaborate with Kent here and use this video that he's gathered for me. Let's put this down here and create a little 3-cut timeline here. So I'm in a browser collecting these scenes, finding some good shots here like this, hit the B key on there. And as you can see, I can build up a timeline in this browser, right? I'm just going to save this real quick. So click the little save button because what I want to do here is I want to share it with the world. So I'm going to drag this, I'm going to drop this in the bucket. Okay. So now not only are we collaborating on the raw footage here, we're also collaborating on the sequence that I have just written. You know, Kent could be doing the same thing if he wants to create a sequence just for the Twitter message, or he can actually take my selects from this sequence and create his own. So we can collaborate on the videos that we're using. Kent can now double click on this from within Collaborate, create his own version and do a save as like that. Okay. And then, you know, if I'm done here with this news spot, I can come over here. Yes, that was my package for the 5 p.m. rundown. I can come over here and mark this thing for review. So I'll make it turn purple. So my manager has to come out and then go ahead and, you know, approve it. Okay. So somebody else can log in, do a search for review, and then, you know, either make comments on there or just change it to complete, something like that. So that's Kent over here. He's he's step ahead of me. His stuff's all completed over there, which is fantastic. I'm continuing there. I sent my stuff out for review, but I still have a 5-minute package to cut. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to switch applications. So I'm going to hit F11 on my keyboard, just to take me out of full screen mode here and just minimize that. And I'm going to step into the edit bay. So right now I've stepped into the edit bay. Those of you who are not familiar with this is Avid Media Composer, the best editing application on the planet. And what I'm going to do is go to the top here, grab tools, and I'm going to click on this MediaCentral CloudUX window. Okay, you can see I was already focused on the Collaborate app right here. So it came up, but again, look here, I can search video, I can browse it, I'm going to collaborate on it. But what I want to do is quickly come in here, just go only my stuff. Oh, there's the park reopens, a new one. I'm going to go ahead and just change that to in progress right there. And I can see that, oh, I've got an in task, one that's in task here, progress right here. So I have to create this 5-minute package. So what I'm going to do here, I will go ahead and double click on this. You see, if I just double click on it, I'm going to get the media offline here. Let me try this again. Oh, discard, check it in. Let's see what we got. Media offline. So let me come in here and really quick figure out.
If you drag it to your bin, Tony, I think it should be okay.
Okay. I was going to say, I think I've left it sitting idle too long and it timed out on me. So let's see if we can wake it up like that. Yep. You can see that I waited too long here and it timed out on me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to close this project. Apologize for that. Never leave your editors plugged in like that for too long. Let's discard those modifications and come over here and open up a new one. So username, password to get into the system. Click open. Hopefully that reestablished the link. Let's just go ahead and get rid of these. And let's do that again. If we go into collaborate and only my stuff, let's go here. And you can see how quickly I can get around here and get to this stuff like that. So crisis averted. Again, just a little mental note, never leave your editors sitting there logged in. Make sure they log out again, especially with security reasons these days, or we will log out for you. I'm going to call that a feature, not a fault on there. So that was just saving your production from getting pirated by somebody else. But you can see here that I can double click on this stuff and just load it up directly inside of the viewer, or I can drag and drop it over here and throw it in the timeline like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this sequence, drag and drop it like that, and double click on it. And you can see here that there is that 5-minute piece. I am also just going to bring that back up for a second, because what I want to do really is park this over here and dock it to the side. So close that down. So I've got a nice little window to work with here. So I can actually work right from the collaborate window, double click on some of these videos right here, in, out, and here I'll drag and drop like that on the timeline, or we can simply in point, out point, and drag it to the end there and create a little 2-video clip sequence right there. And I'm done editing my package. So I'm simply going to save and then right click, check it in to the database. So now that I've checked it in, and we're just going to switch back to collaborate here, do a quick little refresh. And there's the Tony sequence like that. So you can see that down here, somebody was working on it. There's all my cuts ready to go. If I send it out for review, I can then simply change this from here to for review, but it's already approved. So I'm just going to tag that as complete. I'm also going to change my 5 p.m. rundown to complete now that it's been reviewed. And so now that we're done with all these tasks right here, we shot the video, we created a social package, we created 2 videos right here. Everything's done. We are going to change this for approved. Or if we're done for the day, we can mark it for archive. So an archivist can come in, find these clips and make sure they get archived. But for this demo, we're just going to go ahead and mark it complete. Step back to the actual topic layer right here, and you can see this assignment for the day, 3 assignments in there. It's all green. It's all completed. So now I can then come over here, maybe look at my stuff over here, and continue on to another assignment like that. So you see that I can manage my entire production world from within this Collaborate app and have other people adding script, adding video, adding sequences for me, and then have a fantastic little dashboard here to keep track of all, monitor all the, progress and status and like that throughout the system. So I think that about covers it from my end. Maybe I should pass it back to you, Craig.
Yep, that's great, Tony. Thanks very much for doing that. Lots of really interesting things to look at there, and I think lots of things for us to kind of chat about as well. So now what we're going to do is go into a little bit of a discussion and talk about some of the things that we've looked at. So Tony, if you want to pop your camera back on again, I'll stop sharing so we see each other and we can chat through things. So Kent, I wanted to ask you a little bit about obviously what was going on there when Tony was doing his work, from his home office, and you were in your home office. How were you actually adding stuff into that container, and how were you able to see and to work together?
Yeah, so just like Tony, basically, like I'm up in Canada, so I'm a little bit more than 1,000 miles away from the system. But I had my cell phone had the Collaborate app on it. It was notifying me basically that I had tasks to do, so I could look at them on my computer up here. And I was basically had the exact same web browser open as Tony had, but I could actually go and upload my media from my house back to the system and then attach it to the bucket, or basically to that task, so that we could continue on doing our work basically. So yeah, it really didn't matter where I was. I was getting my notifications every time Tony did something, and I would just act on it. So super easy.
And I think one of the things that we showed there as well is you went in and created a note, and then I was quite surprised that both of you could actually write in it at the same time as well.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Definitely be able to collaborate on a note at the same time. But also, like Tony said, I kind of threw him in ninja mode because I didn't want to take any of his input at that time of me typing something in, right? But then open it back up so that other people could modify it in the future. But you can also leave it the ninja so that it's really specific to you only, and nobody else can see it too. So it's kind of two ways of doing it.
Yeah, and so we looked at tonight, obviously, that there was tonight my time. I'm in the UK, because that's the other thing. I could also be connected to the system and also collaborating and working together. Because the question I was going to ask to you, Tony, was, so here we've had you and Kent working together, but you could have multiple people, of course, working across a project that could all be contributing at the same time.
Absolutely. You can have different departments, whether they're photographers, editors, graphic creators, all collaborating on their individual elements at the same time, and then update their results to that bucket area or container area of the Collaborate assignment.
Yes, that's really that whole thing about Story-Centric, isn't it? So, I mean, we looked there at your story in the rundown that you were working on, but Kent was creating something for social, because of course in MediaCentral CloudUX, we can also publish to social as well using MediaCentral Publisher. So it really is all about, having the story at the heart of things.
Yes.
One other thing I was also going to ask about, Tony, you covered a heck of a lot of ground there. In reality, of course, in a news station, it may well be that it's the assignment desk that are there for setting up the assignments and the tasks, and then the other stuff is done by reporters. So it's important to think of different roles that are involved here as well.
That is correct. Also with the topics, if you notice, like when I created a topic, I could have a topic in there saying sports department, right? And then I can assign all my sports editors or all my sports related people to that topic, right? So that when a new assignment or something goes in there, they will get notified. Right. But it doesn't have to be them. You could have an assignment, a desk or a producer creating these assignments, creating these topics, and then doling out the workload to the individual team members.
And I think it's that whole thing about doing it in an integrated way. I mean, Kent, I know that we have a lot of customers at the moment that are probably doing some kind of planning, but they're maybe doing it in an Excel spreadsheet. They're maybe just doing it directly inside of their iNews system. And this is a way of really bringing everything together. But it's not just for news. I know you've spoken to some customers who are looking at MediaCentral Collaborate just as a way of tracking jobs in a regular production.
Yeah, exactly. Like I have an animation house even that looks at it as well, because it's not just like you said, Craig, that's something that's got to happen that day, for a specific story. It could just be this ongoing thing that's kind of living, right, until the final delivery is going to be made. So whether it would be graphics people working, or whether it be, people doing animation or whatever it might be, right? It's kind of like these are all the steps that we need to go through to actually get the job done. And, it's one thing to create a project, and you put all the bits and pieces in it. It's very like kind of basic, right? Because there's no notes involved. There's no who's assigned to it. It's just this puddle of basically files, right? This really gives you that capabilities of saying, hey, I really need you to look at this, or I need you to do this step, right? So we can keep working through it. So it's it's way beyond just a news story kind of thing. It gives you a lot more flexibility for sure.
Yeah. So we've got a couple of questions that have come in. So one question from Sasha is, what if someone has too many assignments during the same time or for the same show? I guess that's down to planning and making sure it is. But Tony, one of the things, of course, about the Collaborate app, it would let you see that. It would let you see all of the different tasks that you're assigned to, as opposed to trying to find that information from other places.
And then, if you're getting assigned too many tasks inside of there, again, the Collaborate app is great for triaging that down, looking at how many new assignments you have. And if it's too much, maybe you start, you push that back to your manager, asking for help, asking him to collaborate a little differently.
It's probably worth just talking a little bit about the system that we were using. You made reference to the fact that we're obviously working remotely. So there's a lot of talk just now, of course, about workflows in the cloud and also workflows on-prem. And this is actually something we're accessing that is on-prem, Tony, as I understand it. Maybe you could talk a little bit about what the system is that we have.
Yeah. I call this one my private cloud. This is equipment that is all set up and maintained by us, Avid, in Burlington, Massachusetts, in corporate headquarters. Okay, so the storage, the databases, the MediaCentral, even my editor is all being stored and managed in Burlington, Massachusetts. And then I use VPNing technology and say Teradici clients to attach to those systems, right? So I don't have to be in Burlington anymore. I can do these functions anywhere in the world as long as I have a decent enough internet connection.
And it's also worth mentioning as well that we have MediaCentral CloudUX, but it doesn't have to be in the cloud. I mean, clearly we are looking at cloud-based workflows. There's a lot of attention on that just now, but it's very much just about having that remote access, really, regardless of where the system is, Tony.
Correct. Yeah. And if I wanted to have it hosted somewhere else, like in Azure or something like that, I can. Just in this case right here, we are hosting everything local to corporate headquarters in Burlington, and then just having the remote clients or the off-premises clients just dialing back in.
Yeah. So we have another question here from Victor, who's asking, are there retention policies for material in the cloud? So Victor, the system that we're using, you can apply lots of different permissions for how long you keep media in the system. You can protect media from deletion for a particular length of time, and you can also archive that media as well, all as part of one single integrated system as well. So the media doesn't have to be in the cloud. The media here is on Nexus storage that is on-prem. And basically what you do within the production system is that you then define the policies for how you want to protect media and to store media as well. So another question that's come in from Greg. So Tony, how fast of an internet speed then do you need? Because I guess it's a little bit different for CloudUX, the browser we were using, and then what we have for Media Composer. So maybe you could talk about that.
Yeah, so like some of the mobile apps or browser-based apps, stuff like that, you need about 5 megabits a second. So 5G speeds are better. You can get a really good experience with this. But for the time where you saw me like logging into the editor, something like that, I was using a Zero client given to us by Teradici. That is going to require a little more bandwidth. Roughly, we say like 25 megabits per screen. So in my case, I was using a single screen, so that's 25 megabits. If I was doing dual screen, that would be 50 megabits. So it's per screen. But hopefully you saw the experience was a good experience. I had an absolute fantastic experience, 30 frames per second, no hiccuping over here. And that is being done off of my consumer grade cable modem here in my home office.
And so Kent, when you're accessing the system, do you see a similar kind of performance when you're working from Canada?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, 5 megabits obviously is no problem whatsoever. I mean, I've done demos all across Canada from all kinds of different customer sites to our systems and never had a problem on the web browser thing. Like Tony said, to use an editor, obviously you need to at least have 25 megabits, which most cases people have with no problem nowadays too. So yeah, I get the exact same experience getting down to our corporate office. One thing I just want to mention though is just with the retention thing, just a little bit, right? It's clear, it's important to understand that we're not offering a service here. We're offering a product, right? That you purchase, you subscribe to. So it's not a service for us to hold your content and all that. You have your infrastructure, whether it's on-prem or whether it's up in Azure or up in the cloud. So that's where some of the, you come up with those, basically processes of deletion and so forth like that.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So another question from Greg was about the format of the media that you were using. Tony, I know this is something that you shot yourself, so I'm guessing it's HD quality.
Yeah, definitely HD. I think in this case, I uploaded everything into the system as XDCAM 50 megabit. But interestingly enough, I mean, you can use many different formats and flavors that we support, like DNX, AVCI, stuff like that. The technology that you're seeing driving the video monitors, like, so when I was in a browser and I had a video clip loaded, that was actually a real-time proxy streaming, right? That is part of the magic of MediaCentral CloudUX. It will take that XDCAM, in this case, my XDCAM 50 video off of my Nexus storage, compress it, and stream it to me in real time to my browser.
Yeah. So we've got a few more things to chat about, but as we're chatting, we also want to have a little survey. So we're going to pop up a little survey question that's going to come up on screen. Be really grateful if you can take a look at that and give us some answers. So hopefully the poll should have popped up. So please feel free to answer that. Kent, one question that I was going to ask is, one of the key things I think about this kind of workflow is the fact that it is integrated as part of a single system. When we talk to customers, I think all of us, whether it's here in the UK or in Europe or over in the Americas, a lot of people are looking at efficiencies. A lot of people are now working from home and working remotely. And this really, I think, is the crux of what Collaborate can offer, because it gives you that ability of having a single place where everybody can see all the things that are going on, regardless of their location.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think, like you said, Craig, I mean, so many people, like even like when COVID started, right, and everyone had to leave their offices, basically they had to find ways of kind of sending out everything that they had in their offices to the houses, right? And this really gives you that flexibility of now, kind of staying remote, because a lot of us are staying remote, and still all work together at the same time without shipping drives, without, shipping anything, basically just whether it's dialing in the sense of an editing session, or whether it's, using web browsers wherever you might be. Some people are now up at their cottages enjoying, a simple life with doing work through a web browser, right? And that's really what Collaborate's really just kind of extending that, just to make it a little bit more organized, I guess is probably the easiest way, right? To organize content and resources to get the job done a little bit smoother and faster now.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to move on a little bit. And one thing that we also wanted to highlight in the course of today is, so we've looked at MediaCentral Collaborate working inside of Google Chrome as part of MediaCentral CloudUX. So as Kent just said, all I have to have is a browser. And then we also looked at it working inside of Media Composer. Now, the latest version of MediaCentral was actually just released in the last few days. So we actually wanted to make you aware of another new bit of functionality that's actually going to be able to be used, which is actually extending out the use of MediaCentral to Adobe After Effects and also to Adobe Photoshop as well. So guys, I'm going to share my screen for a minute, and then we'll come back for another chat just to show you a little bit about what we mean with those kind of workflows as well. So bear with me 1 second, where I put my video screen again, and we'll take a little look at a video showing what we can do now with MediaCentral Collaborate, and Adobe Photoshop and After Effects.
Open up new possibilities with MediaCentral and the Adobe Creative Cloud. In After Effects and Photoshop, you can get access to all of the assets in MediaCentral Production Management or Asset Management. In Photoshop, open the integrated MediaCentral panel, then choose the image you want from any of the video. Work on it, create your composition, then save back either an image or the PSD file to the shared Avid Nexus storage which everyone on the team is using. You can do the same in After Effects, working with stills or video, which you can download directly to your machine and then share your finished work. The workflow is fully integrated. Need to get some graphics done by the team? Why not set them a task in MediaCentral Collaborate, then track its progress before using the finished product in your editor of choice. MediaCentral and the Adobe Creative Cloud, working together like never before.
Great. So Kent and Tony, just put your cameras back on a little second. Really just wanted to say thanks very much for taking the time to take us through all of the things today. I think the new workflow that we have now with After Effects and Photoshop, that again is opening up, you know, the kind of collaboration that we can have, the way that we can now bring the graphics team into the operation that we have with MediaCentral, and really making it much easier to actually share all that different content around. And again, really regardless of where it is. So thanks a lot for your time for the course of today. The final thing really from me is to point out that you know, if you want to get more information on any of the things that we've looked at today, then of course just feel free to go to the Avid website. If you go to www.avid.com/MediaCentral, that's where you can find out all the information about MediaCentral Collaborate, about the workflows that we have with After Effects and Photoshop as well, and a whole host of other information about the way that Avid can help deliver story-centric workflows and really transform the kind of workflows that you have. So the final thing from me really is just to say thank you so much for taking the time to join us today, and we hope you found it really useful. Thank you very much for submitting all the questions, and of course for filling out the survey as well. And of course, as we're heading towards the holiday season, just want to wish everyone from Avid a very great time over the course of the next couple of weeks. Hopefully you get a chance to relax with your family, and for us, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Craig.
Cheers, guys.